Unless you've been living under a rock for the last year, you might have heard of the news that Jeff Bezos is stepping down from his role as Amazon CEO. Yep, the man synonymous with the world-conquering retail behemoth won't be heading the company anymore. And up steps Andy Jassy to take the reins. Unlike Bezos, not much is really known about Jassy's personal life and history. If you're curious about the man soon to be at the helm of the most powerful company in the world, stick around. In this video, we're going to tell you in detail about Andy Jassy's lifestyle. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Let's begin. Amazon made the world stop for a second when they revealed in January of 2020 that its billionaire founder Jeff Bezos would be stepping down as CEO and become executive chairman instead after nearly 30 years at the company. This transition will see Andy Jassy become the next CEO of the company as Jeff hands over the reins for the first time since he founded Amazon. Andy was the company's current cloud computing head, and will now oversee the company that Bezos evolved from a small online bookstore to the retail juggernaut that it is. Almost everything there is to know is known about Jeff Bezos by now. How much he's worth, his houses, his cars, his divorce and settlement, likes and dislikes, everything. But unlike Bezos, Jassy has always preferred to maintain a lower profile. Not much is known about him at all, and Jassy prefers to keep it this way. Andy isn't even a billionaire like Bezos. Instead, he has a relatively modest net worth of at least $375 million. Andy joined Amazon in 1997, the same year that the company finally went public. Jassy has been at Amazon for a long time, and about as long as Bezos himself. The 53-year-old built AWS, Amazon's web services, literally from the ground up. It was his blood, sweat, and tears that built the company up within the past 2 decades and became the CEO of the cloud platform in 2016. He is known as one of the most powerful leaders not just within the cloud and technology center, but in the entire world of business. AWS is a cloud hosting product that creates the infrastructure used by millions of companies, governments, and schools to run apps and websites. AWS has grown into a cloud platform used by millions of people around the world, and it dominates legacy players such as Oracle and Microsoft in the field. All of this success is down to Andy. The company now owns around half of the world's public cloud infrastructure market. It also boasts a dominant 30% market share of the cloud computing market. Those are astounding numbers, to be frank. Andy has always been praised for understanding the minute technical details in projects. He has single-handedly bestowed a rock star aura to the speeches and keynotes at AWS's annual Las Vegas conference. His magnetism and enthusiasm, as well as knowledge of his field, make him stand out as one of the best leaders in the business world. Andy took his final exam at HBS on the first Friday of May 1997, and he literally started working in Amazon the next Monday. Andy revealed this during an interview with the Harvard Business School podcast. He had no idea what his job was going to be or what his title was even. All he knew was that it was important for the people at Amazon that he started on the next Monday, and he has never looked back. Andy has always been super close to Jeff Bezos throughout his time as AWS CEO, and even served as the so-called shadow advisor to Bezos at one point. He used to join Bezos in high-level meetings, and Bezos has already heaped loads of praise on Andy, predicting that he will turn out to be an outstanding leader. Andy Jassy had been one of the highest paid executives in Amazon, and he raked in a total of more than $20 million within the past 3 years alone. Jassy basically earned $36 million, while Bezos made more than $1.7 million during the same time. These figures are taken from a report by CNBC. Andy has always been loyal to the Amazon cause and has never changed jobs or been swayed by better offers elsewhere. Ex-Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer tried to approach Jassy at one point about replacing him as the CEO of the company. There was also a persistent rumor that Jassy had been considered to take over as Uber CEO after the stepping down of Travis Kalanick in 2017. In both cases, Andy politely refused the offers and demonstrated his unwavering loyalty to the Amazon cause. Unlike Jeff Bezos, who mostly tried to keep his political views private and show a neutral face in public, it seems that Andy Jassy is quite the opposite. He is quite outspoken in regard to all sorts of political and social issues. Jassy has spoken out strongly against the police killings of Black Americans, especially after the George Floyd murder. He's also voiced his support in favor of court decisions to make it illegal to discriminate against members of the LGBTQ community. It was the Supreme Court's decision to make it illegal to discriminate against the LGBT community in the workplace, and blocked former U.S. President Donald Trump's bid to end the DACA program. These are just some of the many calls to action. Andy has also spoken out strongly against Donald Trump's supposed hatred of Amazon, too. He also helmed AWS during the time when the company decided to ban Parler. That social media app is accused of being popular among the far right. A quick look of his Twitter account reveals that he's usually just touting and supporting Amazon-related projects. Andy Jassy has been a longtime fan of ice hockey and has grown up cheering the New York Rangers. He's also taken his love of ice hockey to another level by becoming the part owner of the new NHL expansion team, the Seattle Kraken. He is such a passionate sports fan that he even built a dedicated sports bar inside his home, according to Fortune magazine. He even used Amazon to buy the naming rights of the arena where Jassy's team will play their home games. Instead of calling it something like the Amazon Arena, though, it's called the Climate Pledge Arena. Not much is known of his private life, though he did marry Alana Rochelle in 1997. Alana was a fashion designer for Eddie Bauer and a graduate of the Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science. The wedding ceremony was officiated by James Brandt, a popular New York rabbi and a cousin of Alana. Coincidentally, both of their fathers were senior partners in Dewey Ballantine, a famous law firm. The couple have 2 children now and live in the Capitol Hill neighborhood in Seattle. The couple most recently bought a $6.7 million home in Santa Monica, California. Before that, Andy had been living in his 5,500 square foot property in Beverly Hills. The house was built in 2003 and was last sold for $5.5 million in 2014. The 2-story house has 4 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, as well as a large balcony area with a small pool to boot. Unlike Jez, none of his houses are record-setting mansions full of opulence. Instead, Andy prefers a much more understated and simple lifestyle. No matter what happens, it'll be interesting to see how Amazon changes under the new CEO. That's a wrap for our video telling you about Andy Jassy's lifestyle. What do you think? Is Amazon going to change the way they operate under the new CEO? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for videos like this. See you in the next one.
There's so many things that have, that we've all learned over the last 9 months. I mean, I think there's some personal things and there's some leadership pieces. I think, on the leadership side, I think that it's really changed the way that we've all thought about hiring. I think in the past, we've tried to hire people in locations where we have critical mass because we thought it's better for people's career development and easier for them to collaborate. But since we've all been forced into being remote now for 9 months, I think we've realized that if you have somebody in a particular location who's willing to work the hours to be able to collaborate, you can do it very effectively.